Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, I'm going to take the time to do something, to explain something. Normally I don't explain personal stuff because if you ever get the chance, I wrote a story, it's called One Man's Pain. I didn't put it on, well, it is on the internet under One Man's Pain. As a matter of fact, y'all know me. I always try to show people what I'm talking about. So let's just do it. This is our boy Al Green singing about mending a broken heart. As you see, a lot of people has done a whole lot of stuff dealing with one man's pain. And so no, my story that I wrote is just called One Man's Pain. And in that, the character's name is Paul Collins. I know, yeah, well, Paul is a representation of myself. Let's do TRIPOD. We'll just find it on tripod.com. One man's, see? And so, character Paul Jinx Collins, okay? So, I'm bringing this up because the character Paul Collins, and yes, this is another one of my websites. I don't maintain it as much as I'd like to. I should. But that's not the reason for this video. It's maintaining this site. We will get past Paul and the introduction of all the characters. Get rid of that junk. Oh, that's right. This is Tripod. Tripod is a free site, and so because it's free, there are pop-ups. And this junk right here, can't get rid of it. It's just there. Okay. So, gotta live with it. Oh, it allows me to close it. Good. Whew. Introduction, Paul speaks to the audience. Hey, what's up? Yeah, all right, y'all. You're gonna get a peek at my life. So please don't think this is easy for me. Please, and he's tearing up. I don't let nobody know what I don't want them to know. Life is hard. And he pauses. Then he says, and I know I'm not going to read the whole thing, just reading this section right here, okay? Just his introduction, his monologue, his intro. See, introduction speaks to the audience. All right. Life is hard, so hard that it hurts. It hurts to see someone you love get hurt by some stupid mistake. My life was and is up. And I know now, I done hurt a lot of people, but mostly I've hurt myself. I have no friends, no family, no hope. It's over for me. Now, this is how I have felt in the past regarding a lot of stuff, but not now. I love myself and I have hope. And my life ain't over by a long shot. He says drugs didn't do it, although I done did my share of some, you know, and he says Sherm is some stuff. Now, if he's going to explain it, because I was getting ready to explain it myself. This is why I tell you that this is the way I would say it if it were me, without the cursing. I have tried it once, and I'll never with that again. But stress and some 40s, now that's the... For those of you who don't know what stress is, just ask the person sitting next to you. Stress ain't that stuff you go through when you got a lot of problems. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never tried Sherm. I never will try Sherm. Marijuana and embalming fluid, what the... Okay, never will. But this is Paul explaining. So not every bit of what this character says is my life, okay? And I never tried no stress, and I drank a 40, but only maybe 5 ounces because I can't stand alcohol. Okay, but anyway, drugs didn't do it. Yeah, not as you know it. And contrary to some mother's belief, the white man didn't do it either. Life is just up. Okay. I'll stop at this next paragraph and then I'll explain why I'm doing this video so all of you will get it. So we won't go past this right here. We'll stop at yourself. I used people. I blamed everything on them. Oh, I showed love to the homies. They would die for me, so they say. I've learned not to trust no one. TNO, trust no one. That's my acronym, people. This is the bull that people want you to believe, that you can count on someone else. That is why we have so many people in this world today. Maybe if people started depending on themselves instead of depending on others, then maybe they could be depended on. I don't know. What do you think? The audience applauses. He says, well, enough of this weak shiznick. Get out of here. I'm tired of thinking. You judge for yourself. Okay? See, again, you see that? Tired of thinking? FTB. What does FTB stand for? Frankincense, Toshiba, and Barkenworth. Fade to black. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, the story I wrote, it's called One Man's Pain. And the beginning of it is how I feel about doing this video. And so I guess I will call this One Man's Pain. Okay? I've been complaining because people have been bombarding me with their questions and wanting to have me help them figure things out on a personal level. Or they have been running into this situation and that situation and that situation. They want me to help them with everything. Or they'll email me and say something and I'll say thank you, and then they'll email me 18 more times as if I'm trying to start an internet dialogue, as if I'm trying to start a cyber relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, not possible. You know, I tried to explain it to my brother and he didn't get it. I want to know what love is. Foreigner, y'all. And I want you to know. I don't want you to show me. I want you to know, because I want you to feel. See, foreigner. And I know that you can show me. So the way life works is that we all need life pictures. 56. You know what? I don't know how to do degrees. The symbol for degrees. So I wish I could. Oh, no, I can do it. There is a way. Watch this. Okay. There we go. No, we're going to put the O. There you go. 56 degrees. See, I figured it out, Ma. Ma, I done figured it out. It's 56 degrees. Okay. Okay. 56 degrees Celsius. But that's not the degree mark for Celsius. So we're going to put the C there. Okay. 56 degrees Celsius equates to got to do that first and then do that. Okay, equates to 126 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's what I went through. That lasted. I just need some of you, because a lot of people don't get it. That lasted for 3 days. Okay, my temperature stayed at or above 124 degrees for 3 days. Then, for the next 3 months, it averaged 118. Let's just go ahead and do this for, and we won't be doing no more Celsius because they gave me everything in, At that point in time, there was no reason for them to talk in Celsius. The doctor's report was the way the doctor's report was written. Oh yeah, we gotta definitely do this. Okay, 118 through. Now you're gonna say, that's impossible. How can you go from 118 to 110? Okay, because it went down, not up and down. It went down gradually. That was 3 months of that. You've heard the commercial? This is an egg. This is your brain on drugs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they did to me. I don't believe it was a mistake. For a long time, yeah, okay, fine. It was a coincidence. Okay? For a long time, fine. Coincidence. But after I sat back and thought about it, after I sat back and thought about the fact, remembered, it took me a long time to remember this, ladies and gentlemen, because I'll explain everything. As a matter of fact, what am I writing so small for? Oh, look at my song. I Miss You with Teddy Pendergrass. Oh, and a lot of you won't get it until, well, I'll explain it, but you're going to understand the reason why the music. Okay? You're going to get it. It's going to make sense, finally. But remember, according to the doctors, according to scientists, if your body stays at a certain temperature for too long, you suffer brain damage. Either high temperature or low temperature. Either way, significant damage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is impossible, according to them, for somebody to be this. Impossible, they say. But it's medical fact. They've since destroyed the medical records. Yeah, they said after a certain period of time, they destroy the records. It's not on microfiche. They destroyed the records. It's a good thing I filed the records in court cases and put them in other cases. So again, the records are still there. I just have to go and look for them. But 3 months. I stayed in the hospital for a total of 6, well, was it 6 December? Yeah, I got out in May. Well, it wasn't, yeah, it was 6 months. Because my best friend died on the 10th. I went to his house on the 9th. I got out on the 9th. I went into the hospital on the 4th of December. So, yeah, 6 months. 6 months and 5 days is how long I stayed in the hospital because of this. Now, fine. You don't sound like it. Yes, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing that happens when your body goes to that high of a temperature is the temperature is elevated in the brain. Remember, your brain is first surrounded by fluid. Pay attention. Your brain is surrounded by fluid. Okay. Now, what you all don't understand, brain and Brian, a lot of people make the mistake between brain and Brian. But my brain literally battles with itself. That's why I hesitated. I didn't do it on purpose. It's automatic. If you ever see me type brain or Brian, you will see me hesitate. Fluid, you will see me hesitate. Why? It's not that I don't know how to spell the words. I do know how to spell the words. Spell the words all my life. Ever since I learned how to spell them, I've been spelling the words. I know what fluid is. I know what brain is. It's just, since the operation, my brain cannot handle the correlation. It doesn't remember the sequence of how they are to put together. And that's why I tell people English is the stupidest language on this planet. You see, what I had to do after this incident was teach myself again. I didn't just get up and start walking out of bed after these 3 months. There was no physical therapy. I had to make myself do everything. The hospital didn't do anything. I was alive, is what the attorney said. I was alive. And that's all that mattered. That's all that counted. So let's do this because I wanted to explain this. And you know what? It's my video. I'm talking about me. I'm going to take my time with this one. Okay? Now, what I need to do, because this is not my website. This is, not my normal web browser. This is Google Chrome. And so we're going to keep Google Chrome at 150. Okay? Now, I don't give up about your stupid privacy, Google. I know you guys are sitting up there putting a clamp on everything and want to follow everybody wherever they go. That's why I got a VPN. Okay? Formed primarily by the ventricles in the brain, the cerebral palsy fluid, that's where cerebral palsy comes from, supports the brain and provides lubrication between surrounding bones and the brain and the spinal cord. Ladies and gentlemen, water boils at 120 degrees. So let's ask Google something. Google! Yes, what is it, sir? Okay. At temperature, does blood B-O-I-L, okay? And we're gonna do that. Now they have a lot of other, at what temperature does blood boil? These are all the same. Does human blood boil? Okay, we'll do the human blood boil. Because around 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. Blood boils approximately at the same temperature as human blood. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is horrifically off because water does not boil at 212. Well, it will boil at 212 degrees, but water boils at 120 degrees. Okay, but we know this. Okay, so that's why I know that this is so far off. Okay, what is the boiling point of human blood? So this video right here, see, if water boils at 100 degrees, then the human body temperature is 98.6. Okay, understand this, it's impossible. And water doesn't boil at 100 degrees, it's 120 degrees. So we got 3 different answers here, but it is 120 degrees. I know that because, again, I like science, I like chemistry. And so I've known this thing about water boiling at 120, plus I like to cook. Okay? I likes to cook, y'all.
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important email.
Oh, by the way, those of you who have YouTube, understand. Hold on. Water boiling and human blood boiling. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who have YouTube, when you get to those commercials, know how they tell you got 5 seconds? Notice how, or 4 seconds? Notice how they don't start it until about 6 seconds. It's longer now, but they don't tell you that. Okay, and remember, you never signed a contract with them for 5 seconds, 6 seconds, or 10 seconds for their stupid commercials. Okay, so it's longer now. And so they're doing that for their so-called advertisers. That's what they do. Hey, nobody commented on this video. This video, August 14, 2017. Let's see what this video says, y'all.
What is the boiling point of human blood?
What is the boiling point of human blood?
At the standard of atmospheric pressure, 1 atm, blood boils at approximately the same temperature as water, around 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Impossible. Blood is approximately 9% salt, which at that concentration would rise to the boiling point by less than 1 degree Celsius. Okay.
impossible. I can't go by this because I know better than that. Okay, remember, pay attention. 100 degrees Celsius is not 212 degrees. There's not a 100 points difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit. That's the first thing. That's your first clue. But look, it says 9%, so that seems about right. No, because pay attention. Oh, my song. How do you keep the music playing, you guys? People, no, this is James Ingram. And what, wait, I gotta remember who it is. Dang it. Ronstadt? Is it Lynn? No, I don't know who it is. I gotta put my mouse here to see. Oh, Austin, Patty Duke Austin. Okay, Patty Austin, y'all. I should have known that because it's my favorite song. It really is one of my favorite of all time songs. I'm going to explain all of that to you while you keep hearing me say that about my favorite songs. I'll explain that in a minute. Please understand, 56 and 126. So I guess that could be about right because you add 56 plus 56, and what do you get? Huh? 112? So I guess that could be about right. But I do know that water doesn't boil at 100 degrees. I know it's 120. Because remember, as children, we put the thermostat in the water to see, in chemistry, see how it boils. Look at that. Take a look at this. There is something going on with this boiling water. And look at this. Isn't this interesting? Not this stuff right here, but this one right here. Oh, could blood literally boil? I really want to go there. I really want to go there because that's what the doctors said, ladies and gentlemen, that they saw the blood boiling in my veins. Literally, the doctor said he could see the blood boiling in my veins. Look, let me ask you this. Why would I make up something like that? That's what I have to ask myself. After all of this time, I've been telling people the doctor said he could see the blood boiling in my veins. I've never done this, what we're doing now. I've never looked up this stuff. That's why I'm a little bit thrown off when it says, about the same temperature. Okay? They designed a room, sealed it off, heated it up to 212 degrees. That's 1 degree shy of the water boiling point. You see the 212? So it's supposed to be 213 is where water boils. What would happen, they wondered, if they stepped in and stayed? They could take 211 degrees? How about 212? How about higher? At what point does a person start to boil? They were very daring gentlemen, and just to make it interesting, they brought 3 other subjects into the room. A raw egg, a raw steak, a live dog. Who or what would boil first? Now, these were some idiots, okay? Apparently, somebody wanted to redo the experiment with me. Bran Henrik, biologist and science writer, told me a totally different story, which doesn't turn out like you think. Okay, that's how NPR speaks. So let's look at the beginning of this because I'm interested. When does a person start to boil? It's hot. I know. But have you ever wondered how much you can take, heat you can take? 232 years ago, 3 British gentlemen decided to find out. Yeah, they were British. The British would do something like that. Oh, old chap, you don't know anything. So let's take a look. NPR.org. I gotta put this. Irene Cara, you and Flashdance, the song that was playing when my father died.
So a famous science guy named Robert Krulwich called me and said he was going to be sending me an article about sweating. It was kind of weird because I didn't really feel like I needed to read an article at that moment because I happened to be talking to him in a hot car, and so I was already sweating my brains out. Now, I never really appreciated sweating that much because it makes my shirt all soggy and my hair all wet and nappy, and I start to worry that I smell bad, but I was curious to know more about it. The article was about the experiments that this guy named Charles Blagden did about sweating. It was actually kind of hard to read because it was written 200 years ago, and so
he was sweating.
Spelled like this, and so it took me a little while to get through it. Anyway, Charles Blagden's experiment went like this. He put proper English gentlemen into a not very proper English setting. One at a time, he put them into a small room with a dog, a raw beefsteak, a few eggs, and an iron stove fired up until the room temperature reached 210 degrees Fahrenheit. After a few minutes, the men began to sweat, and the dog began to pant. Understandably, some of the men began to remove their clothes, and as they took turns going into the room, one would say to the other, "I say, old boy, I would recommend you remove your trousers in there." "Thank you, kind sir. Jolly good idea. It does seem a trifle stuffy, doesn't it?" And so on. Now, water would boil at 212 degrees, but even at 210, the men showed no pain. Blagden was curious to know how much more they could stand, and so he continued to heat up the room to 220 degrees, then 240. The men were curious too, although perhaps a little less enthusiastic about it. At 260 degrees, the men were drenched in sweat, but were still able to stay in the room for 7 to 10 minutes at a stretch with what they called tolerable ease. Although they had not quite figured it out yet, it was the sweating that kept them safe. The thin layer of moisture on their bodies was enough to keep them from burning up. Today, we call this process evaporative cooling. However, two of their companions, the steak and eggs, which could not sweat, had been roasted hard and dry. Blagden did not record what the steak and eggs smelled like, and there is probably a very good reason for this. The star of the show was the dog, who showed no other sign of uneasiness other than panting and holding out his tongue, and was able to stay in the room for 30 minutes at a time at 236 degrees. The dog kept cool through his panting, and was perfectly lively and fresh as a daisy after leaving the room and getting into the cool air. Sweating is yet another thing that separates us from many other popular protein-based life forms. So now I'm perfectly happy to sweat, and you should be too.
Yay! Mommy, I like sweating too. The doctor said I need to sweat more. So you can't get mad at me if I'm sweating all the time, Mommy, because I'm sweaty.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, according to that theory, according to them, and I want to tell you that something is wrong when we have this issue of water boiling, because we all know, as a matter of fact, I have a air fryer, and I can put that thing at 180 degrees, and it boils. Here, if the core body temperature approaches 100 degrees, you would boil. See, could blood literally boil? Now remember, they say that water boils at 232 degrees, which is, I say, impossible, because I have actually done the experiments. So when I see things like this saying 100 degrees, roughly around 100 degrees, I can see that. But you'd have to, at 100 degrees, you'd have to leave it there for a while. So take a look. Here is the difference, Celsius, Fahrenheit. Okay, now this one says the Armstrong limit, often called Armstrong's line, is an altitude that produces an atmospheric pressure so low that water boils at a normal temperature of the human body. So this is Armstrong line, an altitude where you put water, it boils at 100 degrees. Okay, 98.6 degrees. Okay, this was done by, I guess, Randolph Armstrong in 1947. That's not what I'm looking for. Don't care about blood boiling in space. I'm more interested in this. Hey, this is physics. I am into physics, ladies and gentlemen. But I do know, and some people, hey, you guys can do all the debating you want. But again, I'm the one who did the experiments in school. We put the thermometers into the water. The core temperature approaches 100 degrees. Would you boil? This would make you well or swell or probably leak a lot of bubbling blood through your now well burnt flesh. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not intelligent people. Okay, I can tell that even though it says physics farm, that idiot who wrote that, I can tell that he ain't too bright. Okay, no, because the next one says if you can microwave yourself. Okay, so no, I wouldn't go here to get any answers because they're sorry. When you're doing science, science is not sarcasm. Science is not making stupid comments, stupid remarks. As you know, science is experiment after experiment after experiment after experiment. Then the end result is the answer. Okay. They say it is ludicrousy or idiocracy for a person to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again because it's supposed to be the definition of insanity. But that is a lie. That is just some saying that somebody came up with, which is not kosher. Okay? Does WATER. You see, and that could be the thing. But again, the thermometers could have been there, but no, I don't think that's the case because it says 100 degrees Celsius, which is about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The only problem is that means that the thermometer in our school and we didn't use Celsius in school, we used Fahrenheit. Sorry, this is America. We're on the we're not on the metric system in America. Learned that the hard way. And I hate the metric system only because it's not used in America. Okay. You know, there are some interesting things that I am finding out here that I did not know, and I'm a little bit corned and torn. So if I go by this, then something is wrong. If I go by this, then something is wrong. Watch this. Let's do this. BR. Oh, by the way, if you're going to say, and I always add an E. Again, that's the thing. If you're going to say, well, how come you didn't hesitate when you wrote brain this time? Because I did hesitate. If you go back and rewind the video, you'll see that there was a hesitation before I started the word brain. Because I wanted to try to rush through it so that you guys wouldn't think that. But this video is to show you these things. Okay? So at what temperature does brain damage occur? I'll keep it there. I don't want to do for an adult. Okay? Now, according to this, it is not unusual for a sick child to run a temperature of 140 to 105 Fahrenheit. To cause brain damage, the child's temperature would need to reach 107.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Hard to imagine unless the child is trapped in a hot car, for instance, or is very undressed while feverish. Okay. Oh, very overly dressed. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, even if we go to the temperature of 200 and see 108 is 42 degrees Celsius, I wasn't at 42 degrees. I was at 56 degrees Celsius. And the numbers change differently. So you know what? That's what we'll do. Let's find out for sure, because I've been given different answers over the years. Copy. Through the years, you never let me down. You'll always be around. And that's all that matters now. This is Irene Cara, and as I told some of you, this was the song that was playing when my father died. Let's do 26. And let's see if we can get the parameters. You see what it did? It definitely ain't giving me what I'm looking for. Okay. Definitely, but you see the language, right? What a feeling. Heat index formula. let's do the heat index formula. That works better for me. Not looking for that. I'm looking for the actual. Why don't we just do calculator? Yeah, let's do. No, let's do calculator. Yeah. Let's do temperature. No, let's easier to do this for me instead of me typing up all this junk. Let's go here. I messed up. Oh, come on now. That's what we need. I need a rapid table. Fahrenheit, let's do, yeah, 126. And I came up with 126 because that was the calculation I did originally. So 52, okay? So I came up with that calculation, but let's do reset and let's do, see, it won't let me do Celsius. This is Fahrenheit to Celsius, okay? But I'm believing I'm wrong when I say 56. It is 52. I gotta do that because I came to 126, and so 52, okay? But that's what you get, people, is 120 degrees. And we do the convert, and this is how it equates. You take Fahrenheit, the 126 minus 32, multiply it times 5, then divide it by 9, and you get 52. That's the calculation. That's how you would do that. Either way, if brain damage occurs at, let's say, they say 110, so we'll give it 110. Okay, we're being generous because it said 107 and 108 before, but we're going to give it 110. That makes 43 degrees Celsius. Okay. Again, as I say, this was my brain on drugs for 3 days. Not 10 minutes, not 15 minutes, not an hour, for 3 days. It did not drop below 126. So much that I was placed in a tub of ice. Okay? Now, that caused the fluids in the brain to boil. Now, to show you that there was boiling of the blood, and could it have been higher? It could have been. If blood boils at 200 degrees, it's impossible. You could not have reached 200. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that according to the doctor, this was his, this is what he said. Blub. Hey, another word I created. I'm just typing in the best I could. Okay. C-A-U-S-E-D. I know I did cause. Oh, U-R-N-T. So I spelled that wrong, but it was holding and saying cause was wrong. Oh, it wants to have causes. Okay. No, I want caused. Okay, let's see. Thermal burn is a type of burn resulting from making contact with heated objects. No, we don't want thermal, we want inner. Let's do high. Okay, effect of body getting too hot. Fevered mutterings. Okay, you're boiling in your own skin. You've heard that phrase before, that's where it comes from. Okay, we're gonna go down to this doctor in a minute because this doctor, and I'm certain that he's gonna talk about malignant hyperthermia. If you go on YouTube now, there are actual videos from doctors talking about malignant hyperthermia and how much of a prevalent problem it is. Okay, but hold on. I'm looking for boiling. We got the normal body temperature being 98.6. My body temperature is 73.6. That's my normal temperature. No, is it 73? No. It's not 73. Yeah, 98.6. I said 73. Sorry, it's not 73. My normal temperature is 83.6. It's almost a full degree. It's a full 1.3 degrees. So I'm saying 83.6. No, 83.3 is what it is, and that's my problem with the numbers, remembering all of these numbers over these years. It's a full 1.3 degrees lower than everybody else's. Okay. I am looking to see where he talks about the okay, but yet again, your hypothermos is here to haul you out of the fire. As soon as you start staying at optimum temperature, it triggers two notorious unloved bodily processes for venting heat. First, sweating. Your skin, blood vessels dilate, and the blood rushes up and into them, and the blood begins pumped straight into the hot zone, being pumped straight into the hot zone. So when it meets the coolness of the outside air, the unwanted heat is safely pushed out of your body. That is why your flushed face feels sizzling hot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sweating is one way for your body to cool itself down. However, with a temperature that high, that's why they had to keep me hydrated. Flushing me with fluid. Literally, flushing fluids through me. Literally, just as if it was blood. Flushing it through my body. Far more embarrassing and more marvelous is when tiny glands all over your body start squirting out droplets of water mixed with sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium, and a host of trace minerals. You're doused by your own sprinkler system. A warm liquid that immediately cools on contact with air. For cool, transfers heat off the body into the air. Okay. And then evaporates, shifting remarkable amounts of heat in the process. Okay, we have that. But I want to know what happens if it doesn't happen. Okay, you pull your away from your body. No, I don't want that. I want to know what happens if the temperature gets too high. Let's see if he's gonna tell us. No, he's talking about the time of year. I don't care about that. I want you to get to the point. Like branch, not really, but you're going to need to replenish some of the bodily salt minerals. And again, like I said, this is what I know because this is what they told me. And this, I only know this because remember, I was unconscious for those months. So I know that they when I got out, they told me that they had to flush me. See? Hyperthermia. Malignant hyperthermia. Okay? That's what I experienced. Not hyper. Hyperthermia, not hypothermia. Hypo is cold. Hyper.
He's so hyper. I knew he had a hyper attention deficit syndrome.
Anyway, malignant hyperthermia. Okay, malignant hyperthermia was what I experienced, but I don't see him showing about the blood clotting and about the burnt blood vessels. This is what I had going throughout my body. This is what I had going throughout my entire body. Kidney, liver. And ladies and gentlemen, I told people that it's okay. You can torture me. You can see how much I can handle. I don't mind, because I suffered burnt blood vessels in my kidneys. People talk about having kidney stones all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, I had burnt blood vessels in my kidneys. And I had no pain relievers. The only good thing I had going for me, pay attention, the only good thing I had going for me is I was in a coma. And that the anesthesia, I had been given an overdose. So it had pretty much numbed my whole body. But when the anesthesia wore off and I woke up out of that coma, they didn't give me any pain relievers. Okay? No pain relievers. Just had to deal with it. I'm looking at this one right here, a 50-year-old man who took about 15 medications for 6 different inflammatory conditions, his blood pressure, his diabetes. Okay, let's see what happened with this, because it says, is your body burning up with hidden inflammation? No, I don't want that. No, that's not what I need. Burning sensation throughout my body. I don't want that either. Hot ears, pressure, no. Are you cold, then hot? Nope, don't care about that. Fascinating facts about body temperature, don't care about that. Hyperthermia, there's that word. That favorite word of mine, and it's only because of high body temperature. That's why you see hyperthermia. Okay, it's only because of the high body temperature that hyperthermia is even in here. Malignant hyperthermia, rare complication of some types of general anesthesia. So malignant hyperthermia is not natural. It is caused. See, it's the opposite of hypothermia. So I'm glad somebody knows some basics of basics. And I was forced to do the research on this. Let me get my screen back. This is in my way, so I can't really click on what I want. But let's go down. Body temperature. Say, depending on reference use, that occurs without change in the body's temperature. Hyperthermia is defined as the temperature greater than 99.5 or at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So technically, every time you guys get past, according to Wikipedia, every time you guys get past 100 degrees, you are experiencing hyperthermia. Okay, fine. I suffered from malignant hyperthermia. So let's do malignant hyperthermia. Just, like I said, my video, so I'm going to do malignant hyperthermia. Because I'm going to take my time, because I want to explain to people. No, we're going to put those two words together. Sorry, I got a lady walking up to my door, and she's looking at the do not trespass sign. And she's reading the do not trespass sign, and she's looking at me, look at her. Amazing, ain't it? And she's out walking one of the 60 dogs that I tell you I get to see every day. Huh. It didn't do malignant. It only did, oh, here it is. Okay. affecting the central nervous system. I'm going to click on the malignant hyperthermia. She literally came up to the door and stared. Just right up to the front door. It just stared. Her and her little doggy. And now she's walking away.
Oh, look, Ma. I saw them on TV, but I didn't know they really existed in real life. A real life black man. Oh, my stars.
Anyway, malignant hyperthermia is a type of severe reaction that occurs to particular medications used during general anesthesia. Among those who are susceptible, symptoms include muscular rigidity, high fever.
Oh, look at that, a high fever. Is that the same as a high temperature?
Anyway, fast heart rate. Complications could include, I don't know what this word is, so let's rhabdomyolysis. I have no idea, so let's find out what that junk is. Let's see if I got it. Rhabdomyolysis. Don't email me telling me how to pronounce it, don't care. Is a condition which damages skeletal muscles, breaking them down rapidly. Symptoms include muscle pain, weakness, don't have any vomiting, confusion. I'm so confused. There may be tea-colored urine. Uh-oh. I don't think I have that, because I ain't never drank my urine to see if it tastes like tea or an irregular heartbeat. Okay, but hold on. Let's get back, because we got to stay on subject here. High blood potassium. As a matter of fact, they've actually been telling me not to eat foods that are high in potassium because of a potassium issue. Most people who are susceptible are generally otherwise normal when not exposed. Yeah, everything was going okay. I still had the disease, muscular dystrophy, but the thing was, everything was perfect. Physical condition, everybody, man, I was all right. This is the chemical that caused the problem. Succinylcholine chloride. Okay, this is the junk. The doctors can say this without missing a beat. That's why they make these words, so that you guys don't understand what's going on. Okay, but this is the junk that they gave me, and pay attention. It is given either by injection into the vein or muscle. Okay, that's, I can only tell you after knowing everything I know. It appears they did that on purpose. Now, let's get back to this. Susceptibility can occur due to at least 6 genetic mutations, with the most common being this one right here, this gene. Okay? Now, susceptible mutations guarantee you that every single person who has, and yes, we did the muscle biopsy. That's what the final diagnosis was as a result of the muscle biopsy. But let's pay attention right here. Also known as skeletal muscle calcium release channel, or skeletal muscle type, ranitidine receptors, is a protein found primarily in the skeletal muscle. In humans, it is encoded with the R1 gene. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I tell everybody all the time that everything hurts. Just a simple fact. Touching me, people like to touch and hug and all that, and they think that I am being mean when I pull away from them. It's not mean, it's that it hurts. And I'm worse now than I was before. Literally sensitive to the touch. Laying down is very difficult. That's why I use an air mattress. Okay? I'm very, very, very careful about how I go about doing things. Okay? Now, we've taken 55 minutes to do this little bit of research because I wanted to bring you guys up to speed as I explain the story. Like I said, like Paul said, I don't usually do this. This is not me, not my personality. I am a proud man. I ain't too proud to beg. It's a man's world. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't nobody's proud man. As a matter of fact, as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm prohibited from being prideful. Oh, no. You lying, mother. Every time I hear you, all you doing is talking about how great you is. When you think about the comparison, well, let me show you the comparison. When I say what I say. Let me show you why I'm so upset with all of you. That's right. All of you. No, we already did it. Brain damage occurs when? Let's get rid of that. When does brain damage occur? Can anybody remember when brain damage normally would occur in a person? That was the window I just had up. That was the one that had the brain damage. Okay, but okay, I typed in brain damage at what temp? So we pulled up the same thing, 706 degrees. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna go with the general average. Now, because we know that people would talk about 104. See, 104, you were at the hospital. See, as a child, you were at a temperature of 104, you were at the hospital. Okay? Now, sick children can get to 104, but everybody knows you take that child to the hospital, and the doctor tell you keep giving them plenty of fluid, keep giving them plenty of fluid, keep giving them plenty of fluid. Why? Because that's the only thing they can do, besides giving medication to bring the temperature down. But they still have to get to the root cause of why the temperature is up in the first place. Okay. 3 days. 3 months. If it caused burnt, B-R-U-N-T, blood to be in my veins, then that means throughout the brain too. Because the blood circulates through your brain too, people. I know a lot of people don't think that, and a lot of people don't understand that, but of course it does. Why do you think those big, huge vessels are going down the side of your neck? They're called arteries. Where do you think the blood is coming from? Your eyes, your nose, your mouth? It's coming from your brain. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what they did. So, watch this. This is interesting because scientists couldn't prove this before. They had no proof. Okay? Uh-oh, give me one cell. The brain remapping itself. Take a look. Brain remaps itself in a child with a double hand transplant. This just happened recently. See, 2017. Double hand transplant. Okay, I remember them when they did that. So that just happened recently. Now remember, they had no proof before this because there was nothing that they could scientifically use to prove that that happens. That's why I told people throughout the 90s, because this happened in 1988, December 4th, and I got out 1989. Now, let me show you how well things went for me. Let me do this before I finish this right here. Hold on. You guys need to see this. Okay. That's when I went in. March 9th, comma. Oh, no, not March 9th. Whew. That's too quick. May 9th. 1989. Hey, look at that. I did not even know that was getting ready to happen, y'all. That it was going to switch up on me. No, we have to do this first. Let's do this. There we go. Whew. Janet, you got enough problems. You don't need nobody coming back to you. You done scared enough men out of your life, including Tupac. Okay, yeah, I know about that woman sitting up there doing that to Tupac. What's wrong with you? Okay. So I stayed in the hospital from December 4th to May 9th, 1989. Ladies and gentlemen, on May 10th, a day later, hold on. A day later, I get out of the hospital on May 9th. My sister comes and picks me up from the hospital, and my brothers have been starting up my car and everything for me. And I had a Honda Civic and 3-door, or Honda Civic 2-door hatchback. And I immediately leave the house. Mother say, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go see my friend." And I leave and I go see Kevin. Yeah, let's do the go. And we say, we're going to do the C. And we're going to do the Kevin. Okay, I go see Kev. I spend the day with Kev. Half a day. From about maybe 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. We spend the entire time together. Going playing basketball. I couldn't play basketball. My kidneys were killing me, so I could not even bounce the ball and take a couple of steps or even shoot the ball. It was too much pain. So I sat and I watched Kev and the rest of my friends play, because this was a park that me and a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses went to play basketball. So I went and watched my friends play. And afterwards, went to the movies. Went to see the movie The Abyss. Or was it The Leviathan? It was either The Abyss or Leviathan. Whichever movie was out May 10th. That's the movie we went to go see. I believe it was... I'm not sure. I can't tell you which movie it was because it was that long ago. And normally I would remember because I remembered up until this point. On May 10th, Kev dies. Welcome home. Now, that lets you know why I don't have time for stupidity with people. Why individuals wanting to be my friend, ladies and gentlemen, you can't be my friend. That doorway has been closed since 1989. I had a friend, his name was Tori. I said had because he's no longer my friend. And he was Kev's next door neighbor. We became friends, but it turns out that we're no longer friends because he moved on. He couldn't handle all of the complications that came as a result of this. Okay? He simply couldn't handle it. And he's not the only one. That's okay. It's okay. But this video is for those of you who want to bombard me with questions and want to be leaving messages and want to text me and all of that, who want to overwhelm me. You don't think that you're overwhelming me because you don't know. But again, pay attention. A lot of damage. So, although I sound like I can handle everything, that I'm a genius. Well, I am a genius. It ain't a matter of just sounding. It's a matter of reality. Ladies and gentlemen, it's something the prison recognized. I actually told them, I said, the worst thing in the world they could do is put me in isolation. one of the so-called inmates went back and told it to the security staff. He said the worst thing y'all can do is put him in isolation. Says put him in isolation, he gets to think. And that's all he does is think. One of them said to everybody else in Espanol, his brain is like a machine. Man, I was sitting up there and he was just telling me something. He was processing it as I was telling it to him. And he told me something and I went down. Right after he told it to me, I had an appointment because I had to stop him. And I went down and I spoke with the attorney. And I told the attorney exactly what he said because I had just told him about my case before I went down to the attorney. Told the attorney exactly what he said. And the attorney told me, don't do anything. I will get back with you. And then he told everybody, he says, and a week later, the attorney came back saying they were dropping all the charges, dropping the case, and saying that I will be released. Okay? That's what was causing problems, is people were being released from jail. I still have the ability of figuring things out. Everything is a puzzle. Ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can show this to you. And the reason why these videos are long, because I don't put you on pause while I go do it. Again, all of this is being done. We are doing Minority Report. Okay, we're gonna go videos. Okay, I want Minority Report, not the in Espanol. Let's do this one. This one is going to, and that was Jaheem. Jaheem, hold on, bro. You know you're my boy and everything. Jaheem, you know we tight. So you hold on. I'm gonna be back. Some of you have seen this movie.
Double homicide,
I want you to see something right here. Do you see what he's doing? Just watch.
Female. Killer's male, white.
Okay.
Center perimeter and tell on roof.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what my brain does. That's the only way I can describe it to people. Is exactly what you see doing here.
Double homicide.
See that right there? My brain does that. I don't have to move my fingers or anything like that. When I have peace, when I have a moment to think, that's what my brain does. Everything is a puzzle. My brain takes things and puts it together. When I saw this movie in 2002, I said, it's about time. Because I couldn't explain this to people. And now I explain to them, have you seen Minority Report? Have you seen how he sits up there and moves things around in the air as if it's the computer is in the air? That's what my brain does. There are a lot of people who want to have access to that. Ladies and gentlemen, you all have the same ability. Remember, I went through this. Now, again, if you see this, if you hear what I'm explaining to you, if you hear me say the doctors had to put me in ice, they literally didn't unplug anything, just took me and threw me in a tub of ice, that I was gone, clinically dead. The word clinically is the word I use, because ain't no man but the Christ and those other, there have only been in scripture 9 individuals who have been resurrected. Normally I can give you all of them, but that's not this video. Okay? 9 individuals who have been resurrected. I was not one of those. Nobody resurrected me 2 days, a day and a half. They didn't resurrect me. Clinical death was simply, they didn't record any signs of life for more than 18 minutes. Did you see a bright light? I saw a bright light. I promise you I saw a bright light. It had 5 fingers, and the 2 fingers on the left were down, and the 2 fingers on the right was down, and the other one was telling you to sit on me and spin for eternity. That's the light I saw. Why don't you go see the light? Anyway, for 18 minutes. So we had the 18 minutes. Remember, brain death, occurs after how many minutes? 8? That was 18 minutes. Got that. Hold on to it. Let it marinate. Then we have the high temperature. So there was indeed brain damage. So much so that my personality, I'm the same person. Same thoughts, everything. People who meet me, they know that I'm the same person. It's just there was a definite personality change. My family knew it. My family saw it. Everything changed. My life changed. My decision making changed. I didn't look at things the same. Things didn't mean anything to me. Not because I had died, but because I couldn't process things. There was no right, there was no wrong. Didn't care. Although I expressed it in words, mentally, it didn't matter. Nothing mattered. People didn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. When this happened, F all of y'all in the world. All of you. I ain't joking. I'm telling you the truth. When this young man died, this young man who told me at 12 a.m., well, he didn't actually say it at 12 a.m. because I dropped him off at home at after 12 because it was almost 12:30 by the time I got him home. And it was a school night. So I told him his mom was going to kick my butt. He was 3 years younger, but my best friend. To this day, he's still my best friend. Look, Jesus told the idiots, those Pharisees and Sadducees, the actual Sadducees, he told them, let's go to Luke, show y'all something. Oh, and for those of you who don't understand, please understand this. I don't need you guys to talk to me about Jehovah's Witnesses being this or Jehovah's Witnesses being that. You can say whatever you want, okay? First, nobody convinces me of anything. Those of you who've talked to me know that you can't convince me of a goddamn thing, okay? You can't convince me that you did anything. I will analyze everything because that's what I do. I've always done that. But this right here was Jehovah. This was not no doctors. He didn't cause this. My being still here after this was Jehovah. The only thing, when I woke up in the middle of that operation, that's why they gave me more anesthesia. You done started killing him, you might as well kill him all the way. That's why I tell you it wasn't a mistake. What they did wasn't a mistake. Somebody wakes up during the middle of an operation, you ain't gonna give them more anesthesia. You're gonna stop to find out what's wrong. These were doctors. Well, you know, they're supposed to be doctors. But you're gonna find out what's wrong. You ain't gonna just keep working. Body temperature's going up. Man, you think they stopped? We're gonna go to, I believe it's either 17 or 19. So let me go here for a second. I'll be able to tell you. No, that's not it. No, it's not 17. So it's gonna, and we're gonna definitely get out of this translation because, whew, that one right there. We're not gonna get. It's not 17, so it's got to be 19. And if it ain't, let's go roughly about verse 15. I know it's gonna be about 20, or is it gonna be 28? It could be 17:28, but I think it will be closer to 19. Let's see. No, this is the talents. Nope. No, not that one. 38. They will visitation. No, wait a minute. I got this. I ain't got to put y'all through me sitting up here looking, because if I have it in my hand, I can find it faster. Hold on. I'm looking for this word. And let's do INTHE. I'm looking for in the resurrection. That's the one I'm looking for. This one right here, well, that's Matthew, but I know it's Luke. Oh, it's Luke 20. That's why I was so far off. Oh, okay. It was 20. I'm looking all the way in 17 and 19. So it's Luke 20:35. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. This is when the Sadducees, they didn't believe in the resurrection, so they were sad, you see. Sadducees were questioning him about the woman who had married somebody, and it was a brother-in-law marriage that they were speaking on. And she went through the first husband, he died. Second, the brother, he died. The third brother, fourth brother, all the way to the seventh. They all died, then the woman died. And they said, so, okay, whose wife will she be in the resurrection since she had all seven? Jesus said to them, men and women in this world, they marry and are given in marriage. But as for those who are thought worthy to attain that other world and the resurrection from the dead, there is no marrying or being married. Now, pay attention. As to the fact that the dead rise, not go to heaven and be with God and be walking on street paved in gold like so many idiots have been saying. Anyway, even Moses indicated in the passage of the thorn bush, when he calls the Lord or Jehovah, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, he is not the God of dead men, but of living. For in his sight, all are alive. I know the original Bible. Oh no, it says they are all alive to him. But anyway, understand this, ladies and gentlemen. He says, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Says this in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and in Genesis, the 6th chapter. He says it in the present tense, not the past tense, because in the Exodus, the 3rd chapter. In Exodus, the 3rd chapter, Exodus, the 6th chapter, Moses was a several generation descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They were already dead, but he said he was the God. Okay? Jesus is referring to these three being resurrected, but he said they are all alive to him. The Bible speaks of the resurrection. I firmly believe in the resurrection. If I did not, I would not be here to this day. It is because of the resurrection that I serve my God. That is the foundational reason. You must have something on which to base your faith. Well, he promises a resurrection. He resurrected his son from the dead. He resurrected through others, 9 other people throughout history. And one, 3 days, 4 days, he was already dead. 4 days. And resurrected him, called Lazarus. If you want to know the truth behind who goes to heaven and whether or not when people die, do they go to heaven? All you got to do, it's real simple, people. It's one chapter in the Bible. Some of you intelligent people, that's right, you heard me say it. John the 11th chapter. Some of you intelligent people are going to take, and you're going to take the time to read this, so I'm giving it to you. John the 11th chapter is the only chapter in the Bible that covers this topic. It's the death of Lazarus. Go ahead and read it. It's in there to explain to people what happens when people die. That's the only reason why this chapter is in the Bible. Many people quote from it all the time, but they didn't pay attention. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there that I may awake him or wake him up. His disciples said, if he's fallen asleep, Master, he'll get well. Jesus meant that he was dead. They, however, suppose he was speaking of natural sleep. To Jehovah and his son, Christ Jesus, the individuals who are dead are said to be asleep. That's why they are said to awake. That's why he spoke of those who have fallen asleep in death. They're not fallen asleep and gone to heaven. They are asleep. But anyway, all you have to, even Jesus, before Lazarus is not even dead at this point. Lazarus is not even dead. He's still alive, and Jesus says the illness is not to end in death. Why is he talking about death? and Lazarus hadn't even died yet, then hold on. Y'all don't understand. When I say this scripture has been placed here on purpose, this whole chapter has been placed here on purpose. Do you know why? Pay attention. Jesus loved Martha, her sister, and Lazarus. It says, but when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Lazarus was supposed to die. Had to fulfill prophecy. Remember, Jesus came to show you, let me show you the way. He came to show people the way. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He came to show people the way. Well, one way was showing people that there is hope. Everybody else claims they have faith that they're going to die and go to heaven, when nothing in Scripture says that's what they're going to do. Okay? I serve my God because my God promises to resurrect those who are his servants, and including those who don't serve him, prior to a certain period of time. That's my faith. However, as I mentioned to you about being in that facility, they figured out something. They figured out that the more distracted I am, the more I'm bombarded, the less effective I am. So, all of these people asking me and bombarding me and questioning me and asking me to help them and asking me to do this and asking me to do that, they have no idea how much they're hurting me. But of course they have no idea. So I do this video to give them an understanding. You see, multitasking, I can handle multitasking. I do so many things at one time, but I can't do it all. So what the prison did. And they stopped locking me down in lockdown. See, in lockdown, I had a schedule. My schedule was the first thing I did, got up in the morning, I talked to my God. After that, I read from the Bible. I read several chapters a day. And after that, I worked on some legal papers. After that, I did some exercising. Usually, and no joke, depending on how my schedule was, how I worked out the schedule, I would do anywhere from 1,500 push-ups to 10,000 push-ups a day. It's not that hard. You do 100 push-ups within 10 minutes because you just do 50, and then you do 50 more. And that can take 10 minutes if you do them right. And it's not about going fast. It's about the full 10 minutes, the 60 seconds. So you do 10 push-ups every minute. Okay? You will, in 10 minutes, do 100 push-ups. So every hour, I would do 1,000 push-ups. And that's over the course of the day. And remember, it's not 1,000 straight push-ups, but it's whatever amount I did to get to that 1,000. Some days I would only do 1,000. Some days I do 1,500. Some days I do 3,000. But either way, it was depending on my schedule. After that, I would work on my legal papers. And while I'm doing the push-ups, I'm also working on or thinking about either scripture or legal papers. Then we'd have those stupid meals. Some days I'd eat, some days I wouldn't. Depends on if I felt hungry. And that would be my routine every single day. And it would fill up the whole day. I would not have any free time. Didn't need any free time. But that was my day. When they gave me a roommate, or a so-called cellie, well, that idiot would either have questions or need me to explain things, and usually the people they put me with usually spoke a little bit of English, but I also knew enough of basic words in Spanish to be able to explain to people. Poco español. I never called myself gringo. Couldn't stand that. Gringo or white people. Okay? But you are white. Your mama's white. Like snow. And got her little 7 little dwarfs. Okay? Anywho, they understood this. So what they do, they put me back in a pod.
But they didn't put me in any pod. They put me in a pod with the most problems. You know, the most problems where the fights were occurring, where the individuals were getting shanked. That's where they would put me. Because that would be the most disturbance, where the most noise was, where the most drugs were. Ladies and gentlemen, prisons are nothing but a society of a society. They're just nothing but micro communities of what you already see out there in the inner community. There are so many so-called drug deals going on. People are getting over on each other all day long. People are selling things to each other. And where I was, here's the unique point. People were actually running up and down the pod with no clothes on, just showing off, having their little gay games. I call it gay games, but if you said that to them, they get very angry because they weren't gay. But there was this one individual, dang it, what was his name? Dang it, he had a common name, not like Juan or anything like that, but he had a common name. And the thing about this one, what he would do is at night, because we had individual doors that they had to come by and lock individually. We didn't have the buzzer where they hit the buzzer and the door opened. No, they had to come by and lock each one individually. So when they said lights out, you had to go in, and they did not do a head count by name. They did a head count by head. So what would happen is, let's just say my cellie and that person wanted to do something. Well, I wasn't going to go in his cell while he came in my cell to do something with my cellie. My cellie would have to trade spots with his cellie. But they would do whatever, and my cellies didn't do that. Jonathan was my cellie when most of this was going on, and Jonathan was okay. I feel sorry. He's okay now. He's out now, but I felt sorry for Jonathan, because he got involved in some very stupid things. And what the police did, yes, he was guilty of whatever it is they claim he was guilty of. It's just they violated his rights in order to bring about his guilt. And the court wouldn't listen to it, because they don't care about due process anymore. But anyway, my cellies didn't do this. But we got to watch everybody else. We got to watch the person up early in the morning coming out of that person's cell, knowing what had happened that night. Or in the other facility I was in, 2 men going into the same shower. And you would think the rest of the men would be like, man, get that out of here. Nope. The main ones who you would think would be the ones saying, we ain't playing that here, were the main ones participating. Or we're not even going to talk about the ones who were pimping other people out for that. Yes, what you hear about prisons is true. It's not as flagrant as it may seem, but it was happening. And I kept saying to them, people, I've been to prison. I was in Supermax. I was in Supermax 1 and Supermax 2. And I didn't commit anybody's crime to be in Supermax 1 and Supermax 2, but that's what they thought they were doing to punish me. And I guarantee you, this ain't jail. I've been to jail. This ain't jail. I would tell them that, and they would just look at me like I was crazy, as if I was acting like I was too good for everybody. I'm like, you ignorant mother, this ain't no jail. I don't know what you guys know. What are you guys are acting like you're happy to be here? That was the facility I was in. And I'm not going to tell you about the other ones where these idiots would abuse each other, beat up each other, and then hug them later, talking about how they loved them, how they cared about them. Microcosms of their family life. That's what I experienced. Ladies and gentlemen, after everything that I've experienced in this life of mine, everything that I've been through, and I'm not going to pat myself on anybody's back. I'm going to tell it to you like it is, because it's the truth. I'm still the smartest person I know. I may not know everything about physics. I may not know everything about geometry. I may not know everything about calculus. I may not know everything about the month of March. I may not know everything about that pebble that's on the ground outside my house. I didn't say I knew everything about everything. Well, I did actually say that. That's actually my phrase. I know everything about everything, but that's all that I know. And I don't know anything more than that. That's what I would tell people so they would get the point. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm still the smartest person I know. You see, although you might have people who may know more about me on this subject or that subject, I don't know anybody who knows more than me about the number of subjects that I know about. And I've had many people try, but I have it as a witness that there have been too many people who told me in front of others how much I knew and how impressed they are. I have a YouTube channel that I just put up in April of last year that by the end of this month will have 1 million views. And that includes the videos that they took down, which is another 73,000 views. And if those videos had still been up, we would be over 1 million now. We'd be well over 1 million. We'd be at 1,200,000 or so. They took those videos down because of what they talked about. Why do I do the videos? Ladies and gentlemen, for the same reason why I do this right here. Jaheem? Hey, Ja! Okay, Jaheem is gonna talk about forgetting to be someone's lover. Hey, Ja, I don't hear you talking. There we go. There we go. See, the song before this was Put That Woman First. This one is I Forgot to Be a Lover. Ladies and gentlemen, at first I didn't like Jaheem because he was too ghetto. And I didn't think, and to this day, I don't think that an artist should have to go there. But I'm looking at the industry. They have made so many artists put on certain personas that they didn't need to do because it didn't fit them, didn't suit them, but they needed to put that out there because they needed to promote a certain stereotype. But this song and the one before this I like a lot. All the songs you hear me play, Gladys Knight, Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, all of those songs, all of my groups, the Spinners, Patti LaBelle, those songs, ladies and gentlemen, I don't remember my childhood. See this right here? This caused brain damage. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't remember growing up. I remember maybe 3 days in my childhood, maybe 7 events, maybe 9 events in my entire childhood. And when I say childhood, I'm talking about up until the point of the operation, which was that would have been 20th year, my being 20 years old. That happened before my 20th birthday. Okay? That happened about 11 days before my 20th birthday. Is that operation. So when I tell you I was in my prime, I was in my prime. Everything was working, everything physically, man, devastating. And I decided I didn't want to go to college. Everybody else and their grandmama was surprised. Out of all the people on this planet, you're not going to nobody's college? My mother got very upset with me because I didn't go to college. So, trust me, when I would go to the Dodger Stadium for the assemblies with Jehovah's Witnesses, I would go to those assemblies and I wouldn't be able to sit down because I knew at least 10,000 people there, personally. And 5,000 of them I knew by name, and as I told people, this is before the operation. You could have mentioned something to me 5 years before and come to me and I'd tell you exactly what you said. I can't do that now. Although I still have remnants of that, I just can't do what I used to do regarding stuff like that. But my memory was there. As far as being the smartest kid, everybody and their grandmama said that back then. But they don't realize the amount of damage done as a result of this incident. And many people, because of the way they hear me talking, the stuff they hear me talk about, they can't see it. No, you have to be around me 24 hours a day, then you'll start to notice it. But the songs, ladies and gentlemen, these are songs that I would hear as a child or growing up or moments in my life. Now, of course, this song came out after, way after, but it still has that rhythm. Take a look. Listen to the beat. Listen to the way the song is done. It has that feel of that R&B rhythm and blues. Remember, they don't call it rhythm and blues anymore. They just call it R&B. But that's what it means for those of you new people who don't understand that. Well, if you listen to most of the songs I listen to, they came out in the 80s. The best year of my life was also the worst year of my life, was 1983. Okay? My 15th year on this planet was the worst year of my life. My best friend's death was not the worst year of my life. Was not the worst day of my life. The operation wasn't the worst day of my life. 1983, which coincidentally was the same year my father died, but that's not what made it the worst year. It was something that happened in August of that year, making that the worst year of my life. But that's another story for another time, another period. But again, the music is, when I say I play the music for me, I'm not joking. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being literal. The music allows me to relax, to reflect on some good times, to reflect on memories. Remember, I'm a person that don't have memories of my childhood. Now, you all can remember days in your childhood, but see, when I start telling this to people, they want to compare themselves to me. You can't compare yourself to me. You ain't been through what I've been through, so how can you compare yourself to me? Is what I want to tell them all the time. Okay? Our situations are not similar. They may sound similar, but they're not similar. Again, 3 days above 126. 3 months above 110. At the most, it stayed at 118. It didn't get below 100 until the final month of my being in that stupid hospital. And, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, on this day right here, March 9th, 1989, they didn't release me. I told them I was leaving. I told them I ain't staying here no more. I told them I'm leaving. They said, well, you can't go. The doctor hasn't released you. I'm a grown man. I ain't got to wait for no stupid doctor to release me. I said, so I tell you what, I'm leaving today. I told you the very first thing I did was went and saw my best friend, who, incidentally, oh, sorry. Dang it, people, I forgot to tell you. Uh-oh, gotta get rid of that. Now, I want you all to pay attention. And I know it's attack with a K, so I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to pay attention to this, because this is necessary for you all to understand. Since this incident, yeah, let's do red. Since this incident, involving this massive heart attack and this massive stroke, because that's what that high temperature caused. It's a massive heart attack and a massive stroke. Pay attention. The high temperature, massive heart attack, and a massive stroke. And I'm still walking. I'm not on any heart medication. The actual stroke, the high temperature caused the stroke. Ladies and gentlemen, my blood pressure has not been excessively high ever since. Although I can control my blood pressure. I can make it go high if I want to. But the fact is, to this day, I want y'all to know, because you got to understand. I don't know why I forgot about that, but you got to understand this. Ladies and gentlemen, since this incident, wait, let's do this. Hold on. I want it to be a different way. Okay. We're going to bring you back to being red, bring it back to being bold, and we're going to do a different font. I like that one. I had liked that one for a while. Right there. Okay. With the massive heart attack and the massive stroke, I have now had minors. Now, hold on.
This is total of 2, because one of them was a minor heart attack. This has been, hold on. Now let's do 10. 3. So I've had 3 strokes and 2 heart attacks. And none of them natural. Again, each of them associated with somebody doing something, such as somebody hitting me head on a side street at 65 miles an hour. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, this idiot who hit me at 65 miles an hour suffered no consequences, no broken bones, no nothing. 65 miles an hour. I don't think that was a coincidence. We're on a side street. On that side street, you don't do 65 miles an hour. It's a side street. When I say he was doing 65 miles an hour, not on this particular street, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody does 65 miles an hour on that street. It's a side street. It's filled with stop and go traffic. And when I say stop and go, every other street has a stop sign. On any normal day, you don't get the opportunity of doing 65 miles an hour, and this was a Sunday. He did 65 miles an hour, and if I hadn't seen the car coming and speeding up, and I said speeding up, you heard me. If I hadn't seen the car coming and speeding up and hitting my brakes before I got to the intersection, I definitely wouldn't be here today. But anyway, I had a heart attack because I hit my chest against the steering wheel. And the strokes, one of them was feeling real horrible one day. Even showing up at the hospital, and they did nothing. Literally did nothing. Again, I don't believe any of these things that have occurred were coincidences. It took me some time to put the pieces together because, like I said, it's a puzzle. So I had to realize something. And it wasn't until doing this video right now that I realized that I do remember, and I do remember this. I do remember seeing that car coming before I got to the intersection. What I must tell you is I also remember him speeding up. That's why I hit my brakes. See, if he had not sped up, I would have made it through the intersection with no problem because of my speed. But this idiot sped up. And when he hit me, okay, let's just say he hit me hard enough to put the engine of my 1974 Ford Maverick, 4-door, right next to me in the seat. I had to climb over the engine to get out of the car. That's how hard he hit me. And I suffered a minor heart attack. So, with all of that, plus having this muscular dystrophy, 2 forms of muscular dystrophy, by the way, and myasthenia gravis. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, who survives stuff like this? Nobody else has. If it was, then I'd be able to find that person that I can relate to. So, because, and you know what? I want to let you guys know something about this young lady. Many of you know about her, okay? Many of you know about this young lady.
I've been drinking.
This is Josh
Once
Stone.
I feel my head is clear. Early this morning, when I open my eyes, that old lonesome feeling took me by surprise. I guess you meant more than I realized.
Okay. The love we had. This song right here. This young lady did an alright job, but let me explain to you why I'm highlighting her. I have only heard a couple of songs from this young lady, but I'm very impressed by her. And this is an old song. She's been around for a while, but I'm giving Joss Stone some props. Okay, enough of that. Music really does cause me some very good relaxed moments and reflective moments and memory moments That's why you'll see, if you pay attention, when a particular song comes on, I will stop and I will highlight that artist and I'll highlight that song, because for me, that means a lot. So those of you who don't understand the reason for the music, go back and pay attention. Nobody does it like I do, but I've been doing this from the very beginning. I need to have something going on. I need to have music or something going on. It cannot be boring. Okay? Go and watch my videos. If you find a boring one, I am very tired and I'm just getting this information out. You guys do whatever you want to with it. And if you don't like it, F you and your mama and your grandfather and your grandpapa. Your mama's hair is so short that she gives... Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't do videos like that. But a lot of people were thinking they knew me. A lot of people thought because I explained certain things on certain videos that they knew me. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to tell you that you don't. Okay? Because as Paul said, Jinx, that story I wrote, and ladies, oh God, if you guys only knew, I take tremendous pride in the stories I write. One man's pain, one man's real sacrifice. The classic adventures of Randolph, Grandma's story, Grandpa's story, and what's the other one? Dang it, I can't think of the name of the other one with Mr. Jenkins, Walter Jenkins. I can't think of the name of the Walter Jenkins story. And that's the other issue. You see, the memory was affected greatly. I would tell people about, I call it walking comatose. Many of us go through that walking hypnosis, walking coma state. Well, I would be sitting in my house looking for my keys. 2 hours sometimes looking for my keys. Yep, 2 hours just looking for my keys, and they'd be in my hand the whole time. But no, hold on. I look in my hand and there are no keys there. Yes, my brain actually allows me to look past the keys as if they don't exist. That's when they say that, well, you only saw what you wanted to see. Okay? My brain, literally, will let me look right past the keys as if they don't exist, not even feel them in my hand. So you know what I have to do these days? When I'm looking for something, everything goes in a particular place. I don't put things in places they don't belong. And if I move, that's the hardest thing in the world, because that's where nothing's in the right place. So it takes me, I was looking for something the other day, the router for the cable. I knew where I put it. The only problem is, it took me 2 weeks to find it. And I only found it at the last minute when I said I'm going to open up things. And I opened up a box that I put it in, and it was in that box. But that's how things go. Not saved from the experience whatsoever. But hold on. That happened in 1988, December 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going on 30 years. And wait, hold on. 98, 2008. Yeah, I have to count it. You see, I don't celebrate birthdays or anything like that, but I won't begin to tell you how prior to this year, well, prior to last year, I have to think about how old I am. Prior to probably September of last year, I would have to think about how old I was. Why? Because I would forget how old I was. I wouldn't forget the day I was born on. I know the date that I'm born on, but I would forget how old I was. And it's not unheard of for me to forget what the date is and what day of the week it is. I don't keep a calendar. I don't wear a watch. I don't care about time. Time doesn't matter to me. 24 hours doesn't matter. But appointments, what's happening is that so many people are coming at me with so much stuff, and people want to tell me about their problems. And I keep telling them, look, I don't want to hear all of that, people. I don't need to know all of that. That's not my problem. And they don't understand. They think I'm getting mad at them. What I'm trying to tell them is I got enough to worry about on my own. Okay? That's your bull that you have to worry about. You deal with that. Okay? That's not for me. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There is another thing that I have to do while I'm ending this video. And I said this one was going to be short. Whew, an hour and 50 minutes. That's the other thing. Most people don't know, but as a child, I was the quiet one. I sat back in the corner and I did not speak. You know, you would have to really come my way and pry something out of me because I didn't speak. It really was that when spoken to. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, I made a mistake. This is the video we're doing now. Dag nabbit. I did another video and I forgot to label it and give it a name. And I started this recording, which means this recorded over that one. The only reason why I was opening this up is because I was getting ready to put the video up while we were talking. I forgot to label it, so I have to do that video again. See, this is
articles and essays.
Let me.
Professor Tiger has also been very active in advancing human rights.
Pay attention, because the professor I'm going to be introducing you to in that video, his name is Professor Michael Tiger. Tiger with an AR. Okay, Professor Tiger. Man, I have a lot of respect for him. I may have seen him in passing on video in past times or on television, but I didn't know who he was. He's Duke University, and he's no joke. But the unique thing about this professor, and if you're going to take the time, watch this video. But I have some people I got to do a consult with that I'm working with on their mortgage, and they got a response back from the court. So I think I'll do that video when I finish their paperwork. I'll do the video because I'll be showing the paperwork. But, ladies and gentlemen, this professor right here, this is the video right here. You see right here, we're looking at that video. This particular professor, when you hear him talk, he's going to tell you how the courts are and how they act in court. So I'll be doing that video shortly. This one will come up first. See, this one was supposed to be second, and so I was going to upload that video first, and this happens to me a lot, but I was going to upload that video first because I didn't want this one to be receiving more attention than that one, because that one to me is more important, because that one tells you guys how to put a motion together, how to speak in court, what the judges are thinking. He does a very good job in explaining that within 30 minutes. Okay? Many of you keep looking to me for help, and you don't realize you don't need my help. You don't need the help of an attorney. What you need to do, pay attention. You're not going to understand it until I do the video, but you need to go to law school. 3 of 94. You need to go to law school, people. Okay? I'll tell you how to do that. Because it's the same thing. Instead of I'll explain in the video. Let's get back to this so that you all understand what's going on. I don't get upset with people. Oh, this is Wake Up Everybody with The Roots and Mr. John London, or Legend, or whatever his name is. I'm not a big fan of John Legend. Okay. Oh, interesting. Let's see, who's that? The young lady, I don't know her. Okay. But her name is Melanie Fauna? Like I said, I don't know her. This song originally done by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes featuring Teddy Pendergrass, okay? One of my favorite songs growing up. Used to sing it all the time. As a matter of fact, I would sing this song so much that even when we went to camp, I would be singing this on the bus on the way back from camp. This was my song. Oh, by the way, see, as a kid, when I was around other kids, I was the quiet one. But when it comes to singing or acting or doing anything like that, I had no fear. We'd be on the bus, and that trip was 3 hours long. And we'd be on that bus for 3 hours, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? For 3 hours, nobody would be talking. So I would start singing these songs. Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, the Four Tops, the Spinners. I would sing the songs I knew from beginning to end. The whole trip. I entertained the whole bus. That was me. But you put me in a group of people I don't know, and that would only be on the way home because I didn't know them on the way there. So on the way there, you know, when you're going on a trip like that, a field trip, and we were going camping, when you're going on a field trip and we're on a bus, a big bus, so there's like 60 of us. Everybody's talking, everybody's excited. Not me, because I don't know anybody. So I'm pretty much quiet the whole time there. I'm actually thinking the whole time. And on the way back, though, I gotten to know the people, okay, including Mr. Orlando Bridgewater, who kicked my butt several times because he was just a better boxer than I was. But he literally kicked my butt. And I learned a very valuable lesson from trying to fight that man who knew how to box, because he timed every single swing, every single punch. Orlando Bridgewater, will never forget that man's name. Today it's a different story, but back then, he kicked my butt. And hold on, I was only 13, 14 years old at the time, but he still kicked my butt. Okay, I wasn't a fighter anyway. Like I said, it wasn't until around the age of 13, 14 that I became a fighter, where people put me in a position where they kept coming at me, kept hitting me. See, I was the type of kid who stood there and took the punches when I was a kid. People kept doing that. And I got to the point, my father and mother even got to the point, told me that if I didn't start fighting back, they were going to kick my butt. My father literally told me that. So I had to start fighting back. But you can't take a kid like me and put him through that. Hey, this is Keith Sweat. He wants y'all to understand. He wants to make it last forever. Wait a minute, Keith. You look kind of young there, old man. Look at that. That was Keith Sweat. Okay, that's that 80s thing. Y'all see that? That's that 80s jump. Okay? Anyway, when he first came out, because my nickname is Keith, favorite singer. Because somebody named Keith came out. Keith Washington, hey, favorite singer, because they had the same name. That's the type of. Kiefer Sutherland, hey, similar name. That's the way it was. Because there wasn't too many people around who, even Miles O'Keefe. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, my life has been an interesting life. You know, you have a lot of people who talk about they have no regrets. I have a lot of regrets. But the problem is, I don't have anything at this point that I'm regretting. Because despite everyone else, and whether or not they have an opinion on it or not, my job has been to care for my neighbor. I've done that. However, there have been people out there who've been wanting me to care for the individual neighbor. Individuals. You know, because they're selfish. The love of the many outweigh the love of the one. Did you just say the love of the many outweigh the needs of the love of the one? That's right. Oh, you're just sitting up here making up your own sayings, huh? You better believe it. You see, I have the ability of being me, but I also have the ability of being greater. Now pay attention. I have the ability of being me, but I also have the ability of being greater. Not great. I don't want to be great. There's only one person who is great. No, I have the ability of being greater. Not greater than him. My God, Lord, Master, King, Father. No, I don't have the ability of being greater than him. I have the ability of being greater than me. Than what I am now. And that is my job, to improve on me day by day, to improve on my personality, improve on my conduct, to improve on my spiritual makeup every day. Not to your satisfaction. Because I don't give a fuck about how you feel about how I am. I care less. No, what I care about is whether or not I'm living up to my dedication, living up to my obligation, living up to my promise. That's what I care about. Because that's what matters. That's what matters. Now we have 2 videos that we have to do. I have to do one on behalf of SATCOM, and I have to do one on behalf of answering the courts and responding to the courts, so that you guys can know how to do an appeal brief, know how to do a brief to the court, know how to do an appeal. We're going to talk about that. Not going to talk about all the aspects of it because we don't need to. We're going to talk about that. But now, since you know what I've been through, please understand, I have to be very careful. That's why I hesitated. One, to say, since you know what I'm going through. No, it's not what I've been through or what I'm going through. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my life. This is every day. Okay? I have to live with the consequences of this that's in front of you. I have to live with the consequences of this every day. It doesn't go away. None of this stuff is healed. The heart has not healed. The kidneys have not healed. Okay? They have not healed. You cannot repair damaged kidney. Okay? The damage that was done was, it was burnt, people. Okay? The heart, the same thing. That's burnt tissue. Yes, okay, fine. It will go ahead and repair what it can, but it's still damaged. Do you understand? It's still damaged, and to this day, all the tests that they do show that the damage is still there. The kidneys, I'm grateful that they haven't failed yet. I really am grateful for that, because my kidneys have been on the fritz for a while. So I am glad that that hasn't terminated yet. So I still have the ability, but yes, my kidneys are starting to tire out. But that being said, because of all the damage, I'm still here. Do you guys understand that? I am still here. Despite all that they have tried to do, I am still here. Understand, my son has had surgery, but no complications. Muscular dystrophy is passed on through the male, not the female. Can females get muscular dystrophy? Yes, they can, but they do not pass it on to their children. The male does. Interesting. None of my family members have been through what I've been through. Okay? None of them have been through what I've been through. None of them have had the experience that I've had, especially with the allergic reaction to the anesthesia. Like I said, they gave me an overdose of the particular anesthesia that I'm allergic to. Not allergic to all anesthesia, just this one particular one that I pointed out earlier. And they gave me an overdose of it. Literally, I saw him turn the knob. I woke up during the operation and saw the idiot turn the knob. And he turned it, pay attention, left to right. We live in America. When you increase something, you go from left to right. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. He gave me more anesthesia, gave me an overdose. Ladies and gentlemen, if he had not given me an overdose, I would not have stayed in that coma for 3 months. And here's the point. I told people in the past that I thought, and it wasn't until late last year that I realized that it wasn't 3 weeks. I thought it was 3 weeks I was in a coma because it felt like it. Sorry, when you're in a coma, you lose track of time. Time does not pass the same. That was the issue. So now you know what I'm dealing with. So I got all these people wanting to text me and email me, and you keep hearing me talk about it, and you keep hearing me say about how they've been bombarding me and how I can't help, how I got too much going on, and people keep wanting to pile things on my plate. Okay? And they're thinking I'm the mean one. Ladies and gentlemen, when I am too overwhelmed, I shut down. Nothing matters. Literally, nothing matters because I can't focus on anything. So you can yell at me, you can scream at me, you can sit up there and even put a flame of fire to me.
and you'll get just a simple reaction. Why? Because my mind literally was shut down. I'm trying not to let that happen. Okay? I did not know this video thing was going to work out like this. Again, I don't advertise. People find their way to my videos. Look at the titles. I don't label any of my videos anywhere special to where it will attract people's attention. Okay? I like the video I did. I really do like the video I did. Wait, hold on. I'm going to show you the video I like. Because I like the video I did where I told you, your grandmama, your grandfather, your uncle, your nieces, your nephews, your cousins, your middle teenage children, your other teenage children, when I told all of you, pay attention. I like the video when I said the ultimate foreclosure remedy before and after, I promise. I like that video explaining to you all to explain to them that, hey, mother, the government says it owns my property. So if the government owns my property, why are you suing me? This case needs to be dismissed. And as a matter of fact, plea of demurrer. For lack of service of process and failure to notify the proper party, which is the United States Attorney's Office. Why? Because they represent the United States, and our properties are an obligation to the United States. I love that reasoning. Okay? That's what I like about me. Oh, this is my Superwoman. We're going to let that song pause because that's Karen White. And although I like the song done by Dionne Warwick, Patti LaBelle, and my girl Gladys Knight, Karen White was the first one. And so Karen has that special place in my heart because that woman sang in that song. When I do the next video, I will start with that song. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, this was me giving you a peek at my life. So instead of me calling it One Man's Pain, oh, let's call it One Man's Pain, a peek at my life. That's what we're going to call this video. Have a good day, everybody. And I do hope that you have now a better understanding of who this man is. Other than that, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Uh-oh, it won't let me shut down. Let me move this out of the way. Come on, get out of the way. Internet Download Manager. Nope, still won't let me shut down. Got to do it the opposite way. Let's do